What is beauty? Welcome to the Summit Study Hall. I'm Dre, and that's our simple yet complex question of the day this time around. This installment will be a shorter one because we have only a few verses of scripture to read and analyze. But each one is just as important as anything else we could find and quote. Many texts speak on aesthetics and what constitutes beauty itself. We could spend hours quoting examples of philosophers throughout time who've attempted to create their own definitions for what is beautiful. But for today, as we've been doing, we'll use the Bible as our source of knowledge and see what it has to say about beauty. So let's jump in with our very first verse that comes from Proverbs 31:30. Charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last. But a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Our first answer is a temporary physicality. This verse speaks on outer beauty and its way of often fading. People can obviously become attracted to someone else's looks, but like we've all found out on the course of life, if there isn't something about their personality or character which pulls us in, once the honeymoon stage is over, the attraction will be as well. Looks come and go, but as this verse points out, adamant respect will stay firmly in place. This specific case speaks on a woman fearing the Lord, but it really applies to us all. When we can put our reverence for God above personal vanity, we are showing Him that we're more concerned with our inner selves than our outer selves, which is what's most important in this life. Verse number 2, Song of Songs 5:9. Why is your lover better than all others, O woman of rare beauty? What makes your lover so special that we must promise this? So our second answer is a rare trait. We've all known people who are so lovely on the inside that it makes them truly beautiful on the outside. That energy of kindness and compassion simply radiates from their smile. It's a presence that brightens up a room and pulls us in like a magnet. That's the kind of woman this verse is talking about. But really, as in the last example, it can apply to all believers. Inner beauty is such a rare trait because so few people truly have it. But those that do can live life knowing that it shows on their outer selves as well. Verse number 3. 1 Peter 3:4. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. So our third answer is an eternal quality. What differentiates this answer from our last point is that the eternal quality of having a beautiful spirit is attributed directly to having a close relationship with God Himself. When we can follow Christ's teachings and allow them to change our hearts and souls, that'll in turn change our minds and actions, which then make us beam with beauty from all corners of our being. A gentle and quiet spirit has unfading beauty because it's the part of ourselves which is connected to God and His love. The same energy used to love us can be what changes us and our perspective of the world. We'll think differently, speak differently, and act differently. That's when we'll truly stand out as followers and representatives of Christ. So let's do a very quick recap. What is beauty? A temporary physicality, a rare trait, and an eternal quality. So that pretty much says it all for today's topic. Again, it was a shorter installment because while there are so many facets of what beauty can be, the Bible itself only speaks on it a handful of times, precisely because it gets to the root of it all so directly. We'll absolutely cover this topic again in future episodes of future seasons, using other source material and references found in many other works of philosophy and the like. But for now, we can rest assured, knowing that the type of beauty which is most pleasing to God and fellow people as well is the inner beauty so many of us are capable of obtaining. With that, we'll wrap up this talk with two more on the way before we say goodbye for a short while until the second season gets put together. But for now, we'll end this first one with two incredibly interesting topics. One based entirely in philosophy, which will transition well into the second season, and the other a general question of belief that will relate to our very first one, which we started this podcast out with, thereby forming a nice set of bookends to our first set of talks. Thank you for your continued listening and interest in these deep topics. My prayers, like always, are for God to bless us all. Indeed. Until tomorrow, take care.